Hello, welcome back to Buckle Up. My name is Rob Wilson.
And I'm Harry King, and this, Bobby, is literally the cheapest electric car on sale in the UK. So let's see if it's any good.
But before we drive it, Harry, shall we have a look around the vehicle?
Let's do that. Now, obviously, this is a car that's been made on a tight budget because it has to be cheap to make in order to cheap to sell. So, Dacia have done a few interesting things at the front here to make this more affordable to produce. There is one windscreen wiper, Rob.
There is.
There is one windscreen washer jet. Also, the front of this car is mostly plastic, but they've made it interesting by putting a city on it.
Yes, because that's where it should be driven.
Yes, it should be driven in the city.
Yes.
It's obviously very cheap to screen print something rather than making a fully moulded grille. And obviously this doesn't need a grille because it's electric.
Exactly. And it's got the Dacia corporate face. The daytime running lights are up here. The actual headlights are down there. So it's got like that two-tiered thing going on that's quite fashionable now.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up that.
Oh yeah.
Because I have to do it from in here.
This is where you'll find the charge port.
Has it done it?
Yes.
There's a lever.
You do actually get CCS fast charging on this. Of 34 kilowatts.
Yeah.
So not that fast, but it does support DC charging, and it will recharge 20 to 80% in around 45 minutes.
Yes.
But it's very much focused on city driving. And the good news is the battery capacity is
24.7?
Yes.
Is that right?
I don't think so. But it's a small battery, which means on an AC charger, you can recharge the car in 4.5 hours.
Yes.
So overnight, while at work, even on a long shopping spree, you could fully recharge the car.
Right. The side. So here we've got some tiny weeny 15-inch wheels.
Not only are they tiny weeny diameter, they're very, very skinny. What profile are they, Rob?
165.
That is an skinny tyre.
It is. We've also got this sticker here, which is our favourite sticker.
Yes. So we're actually driving the product team testing car because we borrowed this from Renault's HQ, not from their press fleet. It's complex. But if there's any little weird things about this car, it's because it's a prototype car.
This is an extreme. You can get expression or extreme.
Yes.
This is top spec car, so we've got things like this colourful bronzy...
The brown mirror cap.
Brown mirror cap.
You've got this sticker, is that extreme?
Yes, it is.
And I've got Spring written here.
Yeah, there's all these are nicer.
Yes, but they're covers, aren't they?
They are covers, yeah. But Dacia do that on most of their wheels.
They do, and they do look very nice.
Yeah.
Also, generally quite a lot of chunky SUV styling going on.
Surprisingly.
Even though this is an small hatchback.
It's broadly the same size as the Hyundai i10.
Does it have broadly the same size boot?
Let's have a look.
Well, actually, before we get to the size of the boot, Rob, let's look at the rear hatch, the back end, if you will. Down at the bottom, we've got more of the cityscape, the city map. We've got more of the TfL, Transport for London application. But yeah, so that fills out here. You've got a diffuser. I don't know who they're trying to fool here, but you're not going to be achieving the speeds necessary to have a diffuser. I like this element though.
No, this is nice.
Looks very smart. You've got Dacia again in that lovely copper brown script.
Yep, you've got Spring and electric. Written. It's a sticker like Dacia do for money saving.
And then this, Rob,
is
your popper button.
Pop the button.
So you could pop that and then lift.
No, you have to pop it properly. Do it at the same time.
You have to pop it properly.
Look at this.
And then we find quite a large boot indeed.
It's really good, actually. Really good. Do you want to remove the old parcel shelf?
I'll remove the parcel. That might be the lightest parcel shelf.
Thank you, yes. That's a large amount of space, and you can fold the seat.
Oh yeah.
It's a bench, you can't 60-40 it or anything fancy, but when you do that, you've got 1,000 litres of space.
And you can get a version with no rear seats at all.
Yes, a van.
And then it's a van.
You can get a Spring Cargo.
So then you can make your inner city deliveries on electric.
Yeah.
Also, you do get some under boot floor storage, but it's mostly for your tyre repair kit and your charging cable. You can actually fit it under the boot floor with some encouragement.
Yes.
But it will just about fit in there, Which is that it's handy then, because you've got the full amount of space left for things.
Yeah.
In terms of boot features, Rob, let me check. There are none.
No. So I'll pop this back in there.
And then you're going to get into the back seats.
Yeah.
This could be amusing.
Yes, let's see. So while the boot might be class leading, the rear legroom isn't. This seat is not set up in my driving position because it doesn't go far enough back for someone who is 6'2", but it is set up in Harry's driving position, but also not quite really. So this is as far back as this seat goes. I am 6'2" or 188 centimeters for reference, and I cannot put my knees behind the seat. I've had to jam my right knee between the cushion of the back of the seat and the really hard plastic on the doors. In terms of features, oh, it's got Lecky windows. There's Isofix on the outer seats. That's quite good. Ooh, right. The seat looks like stars. That's it. That's all there is back here. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to get out of here and pass you over to Harry, who's going to talk through the front seats.
Okay, I am glad to report there is more space up here than you will find in the back, though I must say, even at my lowly 5'11" or 180 centimetres, I'm a bit too close to the pedals, slightly closer than I would want to be, so that's my foot on the brake. I've got quite a sharp angle going over the knee there. I am a good distance from the steering wheel though, which is handy because it does not adjust for reach, only rake. But look at all of that you can do. So there's definitely options there. The seats also don't adjust for height, but you can do the backrest or slide them forwards and backwards. That's 4 ways of adjustment. Lovely stuff. Again, we have to bear in mind the price of the vehicle, what's on offer here, because, I mean, there's nothing even within a grand of this, so there is excellent value. And Dacia do a very good job of making an interior interesting and pleasant to sit in without spending lots of money on materials and leather. So I've got lots of bits of colour and kind of highlighting in here. I've got this extreme brown highlight colour around the place on the air vents. I've got a kind of army green bit in the centre, and then white around the gauge cluster on this little bit here, just around the place. Silver on the wheel as well. It all helps lift it. The rubber floor mats are topographical. It won't have cost them that much more money, but it just makes them more interesting than having just some bits of rubber in the car. And I must say, I do at least have plenty of headroom. In terms of technology, you have this screen here. Now, this is where we get into issues with the prototype. So when I click on SatNav, the screen goes purple and then nothing really happens, and then it shows me one half of London, but it doesn't tell me where I am. I'm going to assume that is an issue with prototyping rather than an issue with the vehicle. In general though, this screen is actually quite responsive, which is handy because most of the things are in here, but it's fairly easy to use. I do have buttons though. Interestingly, the window controls are actually here in the center, so I can lower and raise my windows from the middle. I've got a nice button here that turns off all of my speed limit warning noises, the locks, hazards, a few climate shortcuts, and I've got my temperature and my fan speed all in physical buttons, 2 USB-Cs as well. What I don't have, interestingly, I don't know if this is interesting actually, there's no cup holders. There's a little clip here where you can do modular things, including potentially attaching cup holders, but otherwise I just have a large tray down here, another sort of tray under the physical manual handbrake. I've also got a 12-volt socket down here if you want to use one of them. As I've said, there's this cubby here, handy for putting your phone in, for example, but below that you do get a glove box, and it is actually decently big. The fuse box eats into it a bit, but not as badly as it does in some other cars. I've also got door pockets, but there's not really a proper cup holder in them. There's a bottle cut out, but you wouldn't be able to put a takeaway coffee in it or anything like that. And then otherwise, no sunglasses holder, very, very basic. I don't even have a mirror on my sun visors. This is a back to basics city EV. But the thing to go and do now is find out how it drives. You know what my first thought is, Rob?
Go on.
There's just so much room in here between us.
It is a narrow car.
Yeah.
It's a tight car.
We noticed when we got in that we couldn't both lean to draw our seatbelts at the same time.
We bumped into each other immediately. Yeah, it is a narrow car. I think passenger space generally is not this car's strong point.
No. But it will fit in just about 4 people.
Yeah, and as I said, you've got Isofix in the back there, so you can have your 2 child seats in if you want to. You can have a van if you want to.
Yeah, it does what you need it to.
Yeah, no, but that's the Dacia brand, really, isn't it? It's an car. It's nothing above that. None of the flim flam that you know.
No.
It's a car.
It's a car, and in this case, it's an incredibly affordable electric car.
The most affordable.
But how is it to drive?
Well, it's reminding me of super minis and city cars.
Yeah,
from about 20 years ago.
From the good old days.
Yes, exactly.
It's incredibly light.
It is, yeah.
Which I think must be the first part of that.
Well, this car is under a ton.
Which is...
There are no other electric cars on sale that are under a ton. So that's...
Barely any other cars.
Yeah, that's worth mentioning. The steering is... what's the...
Slow.
Slow is the word, yes.
Like the steering ratio is slow.
Yes. You have to do a lot of pouring at the wheel in order for it to do things.
It's eminently palmable.
Yes, it is. It's very palmable, very light. It's almost like it was designed to be used in a city environment.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So nice and negotiable at low speeds.
Yeah. In terms of, I was going to say what engine we've got, but we don't have an engine.
Powertrain.
In terms of powertrain, you can get the Spring with either 45 horsepower or PS or 65 PS.
The sports package.
This is the sporty one.
Yeah.
Which means it can go from 0 to 60.
So what's the 0 to 62 time of this?
It's like 13 seconds-ish.
And in the 45?
19 seconds-ish.
Right.
If you want the one that's going to keep up with traffic, I would recommend getting the bigger, or the more power. It's not bigger battery, it's the same size battery, but a more powerful output one certainly would be a recommendation from me.
Definitely. And in terms of ride, I'm enjoying the small wheel, lots of suspension, big tyres.
Yeah. It's not a Rolls Royce, believe it or not.
No, you can't disguise. Number one, the size of the car, the length of the wheelbase just isn't that great.
Yeah, it's a bit bouncy.
So it's a little bit bouncy, but it's, I'd say, medium soft. It's not super wallowy and springy.
Yeah.
Interestingly.
Yeah.
But it's quite softly sprung, and it definitely does lean.
Oh, it's a leaner.
Which is noticeable in such a narrow car.
Yeah, it's definitely a leaner.
But importantly, I've not seen one of these fall over on the internet.
No, and this is the thing, right? So other people seem to have compared this, not to a summer's day, but to a Citroen Ami, which is incorrect.
Because that's a quadricycle.
Yes, that's not a car. This is the cheapest car that you can get in Britain that is an electric.
Well, also, this, has things like actual seats that aren't just made of plastic.
Yes.
An infotainment screen, a heater.
Yeah, wow.
Doors. Doors that aren't just mirror images of each other and one opens backwards.
Yes.
It's quite a big step up from an Ami. And of course, this will do 60 miles an hour. An Ami won't even do 30.
No.
There is actually quite a big difference between these cars. There's not actually a super massive price difference.
No, because the Ami's like $8,000.
Is it 8,995?
Yeah. So it's expensive now, relatively.
And this is just over 14.
Yeah.
Starting. Obviously, this is the powerful extreme model. This is top spec.
Yes. That was my warning system coming on there.
It was your
front parking sensor.
Front parking sensors.
Because you get stuff like that on this top trim. You get front parking sensors, you get rear parking sensors, you get a rear camera, and it's dynamic. It moves about, and it
shows you a top-down view and everything,
angles and everything, which is really cool. But that's the thing, sort of, that Dacia do is it's not giving me stuff that I find annoying. It's giving me the stuff that's actually useful.
Oh, and speaking of annoying, there's a button down here.
Yes.
You press it twice, and it makes all your speed warnings go away.
Everything's gone, which is great.
And yes, you have to do it every time you start the car, but you don't have to go into some menu somewhere.
No, it's just a button. In terms of range...
Yes.
It says we've got 38% battery at the minute, and we've got a range of 47 miles.
Yes.
So it is not designed for doing long distances in.
No, because also it doesn't charge that quickly.
No, it doesn't. As we said, it takes basically 45 minutes.
Yeah.
On a fast charge. Well, fast
charge.
So...
Definitely city work oriented.
Yes.
And that will be more than enough range to do driving around the city for a whole day without worrying about it. Charge it overnight. Charge it while you're at work. And you basically can have a car where you never have to think about fueling it.
No.
Which is the upside that no one really seems to talk about with electric cars, other than self-righteous people on Facebook forums. But depending on your use of an electric car, you can also have an experience where you just don't have to think about charging them ever. You plug it in when you get home, and it sorts itself out if you've got a smart charging setup and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
On your home wall box.
Exactly.
And this is definitely. There are so many people who say, "Oh, I would have an electric car, but only as a second car, only for local journeys." Well, then you only need one of these, and you're saving so much money.
Yeah.
And you're still going to have your other car to go and do long journeys in.
I mean, forget electric cars for a second. Cars.
Yeah.
This is still one of the cheapest.
Yeah.
It's only really beaten by its own brother.
Yeah, and the really basic Kia Picanto.
I think that's nearly 15 grand.
And there's a manual MG3 coming.
But it's not
But
here.
I think that's going to be 16.
Yeah.
So, in terms of just having that small second runabout car, that a lot of people do have two cars and you only really need one big one, this makes so much sense. And it is really, I think, quite good and back to basics in a way that a lot of people want a car to be. Well, yes, there you go. That's probably enough talking from us. Let's go back, Rob, and do a quick conclusion.
Let's do it. So, Harry, what do you think of the lovely, lovely, sweet, sweet Dacia Spring?
I think it does exactly what it says on the tin.
Yes.
This is a small electric car for the city.
Yep.
And if that's what you use it for, you'll be delighted. I love some of the weirdly old school driving that goes on. It being very light and having very skinny tyres and, having things like a proper key. It actually is quite a lot like an old-fashioned, like early 2000s Super Mini to drive.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Giving early Fiat Panda.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, comment down below and let us know your thoughts on the Dacia Spring. But most importantly, please do subscribe and ding the notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads.
If you also go down into the description, you'll find all the links to all of our social medias. You'll also find two ways that you can support the channel. So we have channel merchandise and we also have channel memberships right here on YouTube. So please go and do one or all of those things and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.